That's always a good thing. Oh, welcome back, everybody, to the 253 All Day Everyday podcast. My name is Chris. If this is the first time you ever watching me, but hopefully it's not. And here we go. We're gonna get into it. This week is going to be a different type of episode, kind of like last week, due to lockdown restrictions here in Washington due to the COVID-19 stuff. There is not much going on, not much of going out. All restaurants are supposed to be only doing takeout, and or just strictly outdoor seating. Everyone is supposed to be indoors and not seeing anybody that is outside your household. So basically, I live alone, and outside of me seeing my coach every week, I don't see many people. Help me. Not kidding. Lockdown is a thing. I totally agree with it. I understand it. I had COVID personally. So if you are watching this, please stay home. I get it. It's hard right now. But guess what? This podcast is going to let you actually give you a few more materials to help either deal with the stress, maybe get your mind off things. If COVID is stressing you out, I got a great channel for that, or a great YouTube channel for that. If you're just looking for something funny, to relax, to get your mind off of everything, I got a great YouTube/podcast for that for you. And also, if you're just trying to keep up on stuff Tacoma, because you miss all the farmers markets, you miss all the events, you miss, Alma Mater putting out their night market every other weekend. If you missed all of that stuff, you can definitely still stay in the loop. I have the right podcast/channels all for you, and I'm going to be talking about all of those today, because guess what? Lockdown can get a little crazy, but I think it's good for everyone to sit down for a little bit and become more self-aware of what everything is going on around you. So let's get into this thing. I know I've already said that twice. So if you notice this week, I don't have any photos up right now of this stuff because I'm going to put a link to all the Instagrams, their web pages, their YouTubes of all three of these amazing people. Yeah, I would say people, because they're all technically people working at this place, and some of them are independent entrepreneur. One of them's an independent entrepreneur. Another one is more of like a yoga whoops, spilled the beans. I'm gonna be talking about Be Wild Yoga. You know what? That's a good segue. Let's roll with it. The first channel that I'm going to talk to you about is something a little bit near and dear to me. I do work for them, but I've noticed throughout this whole lockdown thing, their YouTube channel has really helped me deal with my mental state, being indoors for such a long time and not being around people, not being able to do some of the social stuff that I do enjoy doing. I am kind of a recluse. I definitely sit and play video games forever, but I do like to go out to like concerts, and I do like to enjoy farmers markets during the summertime and the spring. It was just a good change of pace from always being in front of my computer all the time. So I do miss that, and I noticed my mental state and my self-relaxation and being able to deal with stuff throughout the day was definitely my getting shorter, or less and less I was becoming less and less patient with people. Oh, sorry, coffee is amazing. And with their YouTube channel and all of that fun stuff, they obviously are a yoga company. They teach you to learn how to relax, go through all the poses and stuff like that. But their main goal with this whole thing is to make yoga accessible to everybody. One of the things that they've championed that I've really appreciated is that they're trying to how do they say it? De-white women yoga and make it more accessible for the masses type of a situation. And they're doing a really, really good job with it too, especially with their YouTube channel. So I will have a description to the YouTube channel down below. If you do want to look them up, they're on YouTube. You have to look up Yoga Wild. The company name is Be Wild Yoga. They're located in Tacoma, Washington. They had a dope little studio right next to the post office, but due to Corona, there we go. If I can talk today. But due to Corona, they obviously couldn't be running any in-house sessions anymore. So they had to flip, and they pivoted beautifully. I can't explain why. They really stand on using yoga as what it is supposed to be. It was supposed yoga is a meditative state. It's supposed to make you calmer. It's supposed to make you be more self-aware as a person. And the direction that they're taking this is trying to make it more accessible to everybody than what kind of the yoga community has turned into in the last 10 to 15 years, where it's very inclusive, or it's pay to play, which I like to say, what I like to call, it's not a free to play game. It's more of, well, if you come into the studio and practice with us, we'll give you these benefits. It is what it is. I totally understand it, but this is why I stand behind this company, and I stand behind Kelsey and Casey 100% with all of this. That they are making yoga accessible to everybody. I really, 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 really suggest, if you are an athlete, if you're a person dealing with, if you're even not an athlete, if you want to even get in shape, if it's not you want to get in shape, but you realize that your mind's always wandering, you're stressed out every single day, sitting down and taking an hour and watching one of these videos. They have an immense catalog, especially they've hit the ground running due to COVID. And if you look at their videos now, they probably have easily over 100 plus videos posted, anywhere from simple stuff of less than 10-minute practices all the way up to hour-long practices, different effort scales. They've organized everything on their YouTube channel, anywhere to where you get to, if you like a certain instructor, they have all their stuff for Casey and Erica and all the rest of them too. They just have it specifically for them. They teach you, they even get into how to be more self-mindful out throughout the day and all of that fun stuff. I cannot express how much this company, not only that I do work for, but their just willingness to give this gift to everybody, where a lot of companies were saying, hey, pay me $60 a month for you to get this, is just so huge. You can definitely support them if you're one of those people that, I mean, yes, everyone's been affected by COVID, but if you planned ahead and let's say you haven't lost work, or you were in a better place, a better place off, and your work just lets you work from home, and you're still making the same amount of money, they do have a Patreon, which I will link down into the bottom, where they do have extra content. You get definitely different exclusives on different stuff. You get videos a little bit early. You also get to help out, and you're giving some of your money to a great Tacoma company, because these ladies are all about Tacoma and definitely helping the city out more than they want to give back to the community, more than what they can get from the community, which is a huge thing here, especially being a hometown local boy for that. All right, let's keep this one a little bit shorter than the last week. I hit 30 minutes. That was almost crazy for me. So let's get on to the next one. So if you are still looking to be athletic, but also you want a little bit more swag, a little bit more sauce, you want to laugh at yourself a little bit, you want a podcast that the yoga is awesome for seriousness. If even serious, they do have some funny stuff on there too. But if you're a little bit more lighthearted, if you have what I would say a little bit tilted sense of humor, I'm definitely that type of person. If you're willing to put your ego to a side and not get offended easily, the next podcast person that I would love to introduce everybody to is Coach Micah B. Little bit of bias, obviously. He definitely trains. He is my coach for Muay Thai. Definitely ever grateful for him for that. But that's besides the point. You really need to check out his podcast, Funcussion. Definitely something that I have. At first, it was always a joy talking to him on a weekly basis whenever I go train. It's just nice to see his personality come out, and I'm actually able to show people like, hey, these are some of the types of conversations that happens between actual, people that are training martial arts, and the actual stuff that we have to go through than what most people think of. If you're going to join a martial arts, you better be ready You better be ready to get punched in the face. Everybody's all probably like gym guys, or they're buff and they're ripped and they're angry and mean all the time. We're really not, bro. A lot of the conversations that we have are usually funny, talking about mentality, how to be a better fighter, be a better person, how outside factors affect your training, how your self-ego definitely is a huge hindrance to a lot of different people. All those different there is more philosophical conversations that happen in the gym than ever happened at all 5 years of my college career. in 5 years of my college career, and I've been training Muay Thai for almost a year or a little over a year and a half now, and I've had more philosophical conversations in the gym and with fighters than I ever did in college. And I'm being completely honest with you, which would be very kind of counterintuitive, but that is what Coach Micah B brings to the table. That is the type of person he is. He's not just going to teach you how to do a little slick kick here and there and give you a little nice, teach you how to do a 1-2. On top of teaching you how to defend yourself, he's going to teach you about life and help you, guide you through it. And through these podcasts, it's funny because he's so willing to put himself in on the chopping block or in the limelight that makes you feel like, okay, this is doable. How he explains things and breaks stuff down, it kind of makes you feel like you can do anything, which right now in 2020, I think a lot of people need that uplifting, like, I can do this. It is in my own hands. I can handle this. I can handle this lockdown. I can handle, losing the weight. I can handle not seeing my family. I can handle this. It's fine. Everything is at your fingertips. You just have to have the right mindset to do it. And I cannot express how much this podcast has been so much fun to watch grow, and to see what he calls his sauce or his swag. It's coming through on these podcasts, and for me, it's definitely a weekly thing where I'm excited to watch it and see what comes out of his mouth. Either comes out of his mouth or what wise words of wisdom that maybe put with a little bit more swag to it, maybe a little bit more game talk to you in a type of way where it's good, solid advice and wisdom, but put in a fun, loving way where it doesn't have to be mean. It doesn't have to be angry. It's just, it is what it is. As Max Holloway says, it is what it is. So description is going to be down below. I'll link his Instagram, which is funnier than funny. Great content, especially if you're looking into getting into Muay Thai or mixed martial arts or any of that stuff in general. I'll also link his YouTube channel. Please check out all of his podcasts. I know a lot of you guys are going to be sitting your ass at home for the next probably like 2 to 3 weeks. So please check him out. Give him a like. Tell him I sent y'all. It is a great podcast, and I cannot express that enough. All right, so to wrap this up, this is the final one, which is going to take me a minute to explain because this is a huge channel, and it's strictly a Tacoma channel. Ooh, that was not good. Or almost not good. I take a sip of my coffee. Channel 253. I will link the website down below. So if you want to check it out, go through all of these different podcasts that they have available. Definitely check it out. This is Tacoma's grassroots version of a TV show, a channel. This is what I really think the future of media is going to be. Local people putting stuff together kind of like this. So Channel 253 is a collection of, how many podcasts here? I should have counted this out before. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 different podcasts right now that are all strictly related to Tacoma, or people from Tacoma are talking about issues out throughout the world and everything. I personally love this channel. I'm a subscriber to it. I subscribe and support them. It's only literally like $2 or $3. I think it's $1.99 or $2.99 a month to support them. And they have amazing podcasts. So they have 9 different podcasts. I'll go through them and kind of go through a quick synopsis of it. But I really suggest that you check out the website down below. Check out 253, Channel 253, because they definitely have a lot of good ones. So the first one that they have is the Nerd Farmer. Teacher of the Year, Nate Bowling. He puts on the podcast talking about farming in the city, all that fun stuff. I listen to it every once in a while. Granted, this is why it's so beautiful, why there's 9 different podcasts. If you are not interested in one of them, you can go to the next one, Nerd Farmer. Listen to a few of them. Love the guy. He's a great personality. You always gotta love a Tacoma boy in the thing, and I'm always down for somebody teaching how to teaching people how to farm and like garden and stuff like that too, because the earth is a resource we don't use as humans as enough, and it blows my mind. So yeah, definitely this is a good one too. All right, next one, Citizen Tacoma. This is my favorite one. I listen to it all the time, especially during when these elections were coming up, and when the port and when was it the port had the port had a seat up, and there was other districts that had seats up earlier this year, I want to say, or it was in last year 2019 at the end of 2019. But Citizens Tacoma is everything political that is happening in Tacoma. They try to give you the most unbiased opinion possible. What I really, really enjoyed about this one is that when everybody was running for whatever Tacoma council, whatever, they tried their best to get the candidate in there and talk to them and give them 40 minutes to either about 30 to about 40 minutes of unsolicited talking time where they could just spew the information that they had from their head. Ooh, excuse me. Which was huge because I am totally into local government. I get it. Big government, yeah, we just had the presidential election, blah, 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 blah. Local government's where it's at. Local government is what is going to help your children out, help your grandchildren out, is going to shape the future of what's going to be happening in Tacoma. Are we going to keep these rent prices up so high? Are we going to be able to bring them down? Are the same locals that are living in the city of Tacoma going to be able to live the city in Tacoma that they love and be able to continue paying rent and all that fun stuff? And who's representing you in Tacoma? What is going on? What is the port? What is going on in the port? What is going on with us being on native lands? What's happening there? What's going on? Citizen Tacoma will either be reporting on it or will have that answer for you in a podcast, which is huge. I really, really think people don't get excited enough about local politics. I know politics can be a big draw or big, boring and stuff like that. But if you can get it into the local, if you can just at least get into local politics, you can actually see the change. You can see how some of these laws and this stuff will affect you personally and how they'll affect your children and all that fun stuff also. I cannot express how much Citizens Tacoma podcast helped me dive into the politics of Tacoma and me realize how out of the loop I was and how many people in Tacoma just don't know what's going on. Our voting records were amazing during the presidential election, but were dog poo during our local elections. And I'm just being honest with you because I saw the votes. It was I think we maybe had 50K people in voting just in Tacoma alone, which and then we turn around and we complain about what's going on here in Tacoma about rents and all that fun stuff, but we're not willing to vote and read up on the new laws and stuff that is going on and being a citizen of the community that you want to be an actual citizen of the community that you want to be. So if you want to be part of a community that is loving and all that stuff, you have to start first by being a citizen and acting like that. So then the community will grow from you on top of it. Okay, besides the point. Citizens Tacoma podcast, if you're trying to get everything local for government-wise, what's going on, I really, really advise you checking out that one. That is my personal favorite out of all of these. I'm just going to give the names of the next ones here through on out. I'm almost at 20 minutes again. Bro, I am just talking these last 2 weeks. That's what's up. All right. So they have another podcast called The Interchangeable White Ladies. Two teachers talking about how them being white in a very multicultural neighborhood in a city, how it affects them, how they can combat some of their privileges. It's just a good self-awareness podcast, especially if you're a white woman. Sometimes you just don't think about that stuff. My mom listens to it every once in a while. She says, yeah, they do have some good points that I don't think about. My mom's white, by the way. I'm half Filipino, half Scottish. For all y'all want to test me on that, you can check me on it all day. But yeah, my mom says a good podcast. I respect her opinion for it. Not really my thing, but I respect there's people willing to at least talk about their privilege out there because that stuff does not happen enough. All right. So the next one is Crossing Division, where this one is more of I wouldn't say edgy, but it's willing to talk about stuff that is in Tacoma that people kind of look the other way about. Obviously, the medium gap where there's like super rich people in North End while there's not so many rich people in the South End. They're willing to talk about why that's happening, why that's going on, what are some of the boundaries, what are some of the what's going on. We're living literally on Puyallup tribe land, so what's going on with the Puyallup tribe? How are we helping them out? Blah blah this and blah blah that. That is what this podcast is for. So if you're really looking into a different perspective in Tacoma, where you might wonder why does that work out the way it does, Crossing Divisions is definitely that podcast that will help you out with that. Next one, my second favorite podcast here. This is for like more of the artsy side for me, but pre-warning you, with this art podcast, we are Art Tacoma. Be prepared with people with very lofty dreams, very, very, very optimistic outlooks on life. Right now, I'm the type of person where I'm very realistic, so sometimes when people talk about their very lofty ambitions but don't have a plan with it, like if you ask them like, hey, so what are you doing right now to help you out with these dreams, and they kind of just like sit there and they're more of a dreamer than a doer. You get that a lot of times with artist communities, so I pre-warn people if that is not your thing. This is definitely one of those podcasts where it will help a local artist figure out how to grow, but on top of it too, it can get kind of artsy fartsy. There we go. That's the word I'm looking for. Artsy fartsy. For some people that, it's just not your thing. But for me, not as much as I listen to Citizens Tacoma. We Art Tacoma is another good one, just so I know what's always going on here. I keep my ear to the ground, see what new artists are out there or what artists have been around that I never knew about too. It's a great podcast. All right, so the last 4 podcasts, What You Say, Flounders B Team, Move to Tacoma, and Taco Man, are more of lifestyle podcasts where What You Say is 2 sisters talking about just real events happening in Tacoma, their perspective and their outlook on it being from a cultural background that is not as heard as often, so it's just a different perspective on life. Something it's something that is interesting because it makes you realize more people see life differently. Really, really depends on how you were raised and what things you're around, I guess. Flounders B Team. It's a soccer podcast. It's a Tacoma soccer podcast. They talk about Sounders. They talk about the Tacoma Stars, maybe. The Sounders B Team in Tacoma. They play in Tukwila, technically. But just for all the soccer heads out there, if there are any more, that's it. Move to Tacoma. Talks about everything about Tacoma. If you're going to be moving here, if you're from out of town, if you want to know about history, you want to know about things that are going on, how do you start stuff, this podcast is the one to go to. Between We Are Art Tacoma and Move to Tacoma, these are like the 2 ones that I listen to the most. Just every once in a while they have a funny, or they have a good history story that I maybe haven't heard before. Definitely is a huge thing. One of the new ones that they came out was starting a business in Tacoma's empty spaces, which is obviously right now in my life is not the best, not like a huge goal or priority, but it's something for me to look into, which I kind of want to do at one point. That would be really dope. So it was just something cool, like what opportunities are out there and what is going on. And the last one, Taco Man. This guy just likes tacos, bro. In Tacoma, we got a big Mexican and we got a big Mexican following, a bunch of people that speak Spanish. There's a lot of bomb ass taco places, a lot of taquerias out there that are really, really good. Talked about one last week that I thought was really, really good. So that's what the Taco Man podcast is all about. All right. Dang, I got up to 23 minutes again. Looks like I'm just a talker these last 2 weeks. But once again, I hope this helps out everybody. There is a lot of different resources out there. I get it. Lockdown's annoying. It's hard. Try something new. Listen to a new podcast. Try to get a different perspective on life. All of everything that I'll be talking about is all in the description down below. Please also, again, follow me on my Instagram, Twitter, my prints down there, pickfair.com. Any of my prints, especially for the holidays. I got some dope ones up there. If you're trying to give your grandma, your mom some nice little photo that she can hang up. I know everyone's not the best at it, so you can take some of mine. I don't care. Also, I've been streaming on Twitch for the last 37 days. I've been streaming on Twitch. I'm trying to go for as long as I can before I stop for a day. I don't know what it is yet, but I'm having a lot of fun on it. Give you guys something to watch. It's a lot more laid back, a lot chiller. So if you don't like the craziness of the internet, if you don't like the non-professional side of the internet, bro, my Twitch channel ain't for you. But if you want some funny jokes, me talking my ish, and a little bit less professional side of me, definitely come check that out. Also, like I said last week, I do have clothing lineup. I have a merch store. It's on Teespring. Check it out. Link in the bio. Great great Christmas and gift presents for your son, your daughter. Tell them it's a dope local Tacoma artist. Tell them to follow my Instagram. I'll give them a shout out, anything, whatever. Or even if you're looking to buy something yourself, spoil yourself. Get yourself the newest dope design that no one else is going to have. Your friends, I guarantee, are going to ask you, man, where did you get that shirt? What is that design? Who is it all about? Tell them. I'll put the link down the bottom. And once again, thank you so much for everybody who's listening. This is the 253 All Day Everyday podcast, bro. It's Chris, and I'm out. Peace.